are holding me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Fuzzy Willie told.
At the pad throwing up gang signs. Ran in the house and grabbed my clip with the Mac 10 on the side of my hip. Bailed outside and pointed my weapon. Just as I thought, the fools kept stepping. Jumped in the foe, hit the juice on my ride. I got front and back and side to side.
Hey Dave, you good?
Ready if you are.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Ultimate Jury. Dave's getting off the floor, which means it's time to start this
about
episode.
time.
Straight Up Compton is #1 again at the box office.
So we're going to be talking about it a little bit. We're going to be discussing what we liked, what we didn't like, just in general, what we felt about this new film.
I heard you've been spending a lot of time at your auntie house. How's the couch life?
Got my woman and my baby living there. It's hard, man. But you know, everybody can't do what you do.
Really what I do getting played out, Dre. Where the money at?
Why you gotta be so ruthless, cuz?
I'll make a few changes.
Where you think you going?
I'm just trying to get home.
That's my son. You need to get back in the house or I will ruin your night. I gotta talk to my moms like that.
So this film follows the uprise of N.W.A, the rap group from the early 90s. And we've all seen it. Everyone in America seems to be seeing it. It's very popular right now, so let's talk about it. This film was directed by F. Gary Gray, who also worked with Ice Cube in Friday and did another great film with Kevin Spacey called The Negotiator. But yeah, we've all liked it, so yeah.
Tell me what you guys liked about it. Let me ask you this. Were the characters believable for you?
Yes.
Steve, give me what'd you like about it? Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character was definitely Ice Cube. I think he portrayed his father very well. He had to audition for the part. Ice Cube made him audition, and I'm sure there was a little bit of favoritism there, but at the same time, I believe he wanted himself to be portrayed very well, and he saw that in his son, so he put him in there, and he actually did a really good job, I think.
This N.W.A. Yo, Dre. What up? I got something to say.
And he was funny. He showed his part in N.W.A, which was a lot of the writing the rhymes and everything. And they definitely showed a lot of that, which I liked. And his character was fun and very believable.
I agree with that. It was good. I think my favorite character was definitely Dr. Dre, just because he was like the most mature out of all of them. And like the most likable character, I guess. They're all likable, but I don't know. It's just like I kind of identified with his personality a little bit more. And just like he was always just in it for the music, and it was just like all about passion for him, and not a lot of like politics and drama were involved. But yeah, I don't know. I like the movie a lot, and I didn't know anything about this scene, like the whole Compton scene in the early '90s, until I saw this movie, and it's enlightening and cool, and it makes me like the music more.
Dave, who's your favorite character before we go to the music?
I think I agree with Steve that Cube was probably my favorite character. I didn't even know that was his real son in real life. That's cool. And I was also shocked because after the movie, I went and looked up what Eazy-E looked like, and it's a splitting image.
Well, did they show images of him at the end in the credits?
They did. They showed a lot of the videos. Yeah, they showed a lot of the old videos that they shot, and it was a really quick clip, so you couldn't really get a good look. And it was obviously it was really old film. Like they had almost no money when they made those videos, so it was really crappy quality. So trying to like pick them out while the video was going on was almost impossible to do.
Yeah, that's true.
First person you notice, though, is Eazy. Because he just has that look. He's always wearing sunglasses, a hat, and the Jerry curls coming down. So it was pretty obvious.
Eazy-E, I guess he went solo. Most of these guys went solo. I don't know if all of it. Like Ice Cube went solo. Eazy-E went solo. Dre, obviously.
Eazy, I wouldn't say he went solo. He was because he originally made it his company with the manager Jerry, and then everyone was pretty much leaving him. But DOC and Yella stayed with him. And Dre and Cube left first, obviously, as we saw, because he knew the contracts were bullshit, and he wasn't getting paid, so he left first, and then Dre followed because Dre has the passion and wanted to do it on his own. And the other ones were kind of, I'd say they were smart and they were definitely part of the group, but they were more followers than they were leaders and individuals. They kind of just went along with everything as opposed to, being the minds behind the creation of N.W.A.
Yeah, and I don't really have that much of a background, like I said, in that whole scene, so I wouldn't know. So, but there was a couple minor things about the movie that I just didn't like. But overall, I'd recommend seeing.
I thought it could have been shorter, actually.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
The
where,
length I didn't like. There was a couple like stereotypical roles like that were like really sensationalized. Like the cops were portrayed like so like one noted, and it was like there was no good side to that at all.
True, yeah.
And it was kind of stereotypical. And then like Jerry was, I've seen that type of character in a movie before. Like his type of character, like that record producer that's just like in it for himself, and he's kind of a mess.
I think Paul Giamatti may have played the same kind of character
Yeah,
in other
yeah.
movies.
Agent Cody
exactly.
Banks.
So there's just these like archetypes that I just saw like transparently when I was watching the movie. But that said, it was still entertaining for me.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, what does this movie leave you feeling? Does it make you want to listen to the music? Does it make you want to know more about these characters or people? I'm sorry. Does it make you want to do anything, or is it just is it one of those movies that's just gonna leave you?
Well, it was educational for me because I think it comes as no surprise looking at me that I didn't really know much about that whole world. But I did do some research afterwards.
I would have thought that.
You wouldn't have?
No, you're gangster all the way, my friend.
Kind of
Super
you.
gangster.
So gangster.
Anyway. So yeah, after I saw it, I went and did a little research just because I was curious to know a little bit more about all those guys because I knew nothing. So the whole thing was pretty educational, and the only person I really knew of before seeing the movie was Ice Cube from Law and Order SVU.
Wait, no, that's not Ice Cube.
Ice-T,
That's Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Confusing my rappers.
Wow.
Yeah. He was
now
a rapper,
I
wasn't
take
he?
that back. That I don't think you used to be gangster because
Wasn't Ice-T a rapper too?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so
He
at
was
least
terrible. That's why he went into
To
that
acting.
show for the last 15 years or so.
He's a dude with like the dread ponytail, right?
Yeah, he's the one
Not
that's
anymore.
on the SVU show. He's got the Coco as his wife. Now they host like a TV daytime show or whatever. It's like Ice and Coco.
So Ice-T, he was not in Compton, right?
No.
or not that I know of.
No,
I don't
he
think
wasn't.
So. I think he was East Coast.
How many rappers were in there? Like how many actual like they had like
Too many Ice.
In the movie,
Ice-T. Ice Tray.
like how many came out of Compton? Or
No, like in the movie, like how do you know how many like actually they portrayed? Like how many?
there's Ice Cube, DOC, Dre, Eazy-E, Snoop, Tupac, Bone Thugs was a very very short cameo.
Was Suge Knight a rapper himself, or was he
I don't
just
think
a
so. He
producer?
was just the businessman.
The business guy,
very
yeah,
bad
okay.
businessman. They made him look
He was
really
like a
bad.
villain.
Yeah,
He
seriously.
was the villain.
He was like a super villain, man. Like you didn't know what he wanted to mess with him.
All of the Death Row record scenes were like red. Like
Yeah.
everything was red in
Mhm.
all of those scenes.
Especially the one where Drake comes in to say he's leaving. He's going
Yeah,
out on,
yeah.
Just he's wearing red. The
Yeah,
carpet's red,
everything. Yeah, it was so apparent.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was long, and I totally agree that it
Yeah,
could have been
it was
shorter.
long. It was
2.5 hours.
But also the thing is,
Yeah.
like a lot of the scenes were so contrived, where it's like he's having these meetings, and then there's Suge Knight outside with like a bunch of women that are scantily clad, naked, dog fighting, doing drugs, like everything you can think of that's the worst thing. Suge Knight's doing it outside of his like workstation, or and that doesn't just happen there. Like the bus scene where the Crips and get on the bus and they like
Oh,
threaten
yeah,
the
yeah,
kids. Like Ice Cube's just there for that and has like that scene that leads to the song, or he gets the cops mess with him right
I know.
before he has
It's
to
like,
write
it's
at
like
the police.
A, B, A, B. It's
Yeah,
like
and so it's like one of those
action
things
reaction.
where I watched movies like Dallas Buyers Club, and I totally thought that movie was real. I totally thought Jared Leto actually played a real person.
Yeah.
He's not. Like he was totally, that character did not exist.
Yeah.
So that freaked me out. I was like, oh, I felt like I was lied to, and I
Yeah.
hate so much when movies are that good, like Dallas Buyers Club or Compton, because the movie itself is great, other than the camera work, which gets a little jittery and kind of confusing at times.
It's also a big screen we were watching it on. That kind of movement on such a large screen is
Also, I
kind
think
of headache provoking. But
they were going for that though vibe too, because I think when it got more professional, when like Suge was involved and it got real shady, the camera work actually was more like wide. Like they actually started getting more complicated with the shots instead of just like all handheld and running through the streets and stuff. So it's cool, a nice progression through the camera work. I love camera work.
It's definitely the cinematic version of the way things happened in
That's
real life.
actually pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm sure they exaggerated a lot, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that know way more about how they came to be. So I'm sure they wouldn't because that would be directly lying to people that actually knew the truth. So they can't really exaggerate too much on that stuff. That would piss a lot of people off at the same time. So,
Who's a character I didn't really like? He did the it was like Ice Cube's the guy above Jerry, like who he went in like. took out.
the Priority Records.
Yeah,
label
the
guy?
Priority.
Yeah.
Oh god, that guy was every time he was on screen, I was just like, Move on. I don't care about this.
I mean, the only good time he was on screen was when he was screaming for his life when Cube went in there with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I didn't get why he said, do this first album with little money, you'll have a lot on the second, and then when he delivered, he didn't have the money. Why was that?
He was trying to bullshit him, basically.
Oh, so he was just...
Yeah, he was just trying... Everybody was f***ing them over from the start. And Cube, I think, was the first one to realize it, and then he got screwed over again. Dre, when he finally realized it with being in Ruthless and N.W.A., he went with Death Row, and then he realized Suge was doing the same thing, and that's when he went and did, Aftermath, where he made his own label where nobody could screw him over.
I guess because they figured these are all these guys from like the hood. They don't know anything about the legality,
exactly,
agreements and all that, so they took advantage.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. But going back to the question, that movie left me feeling pretty awesome, motivated. Definitely want to listen to the music more than I have. I've always listened to that type of hip hop. That's my favorite stuff, is anything really before 2003. And I want to learn more about that group when they started. And yeah, I liked it. It's great. I recommend it.
Cool. All right. Anybody else recommend it?
Yeah, I recommend it as well.
I recommend it to anyone who's willing to see it.
What? What's that mean?
I honestly wouldn't have seen it unless we were doing this.
It's funny though.
I'm glad I saw it.
It's funny. I saw a lot of different people like in that theater, like a lot of different demographics, and they all seem to really enjoy it. Like I saw like some.
There's like kids there as well, like
kids and like older white people.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like any. I mean, there's a lot of swearing, but
they couldn't shut up about it. Like leaving, like there's like at least a 60 or 70-year-old white couple there, and they were just like, that was so good. I want to know what happened to Eazy's wife and all these things, and they were gonna look it up.
She was actually one of the main producers of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw it really quick in the credits because they said her name quite a bit at the end when Eazy was with her a lot, and she's a very smart businesswoman, I guess, and she's still around and does a lot. But
all right. So in conclusion, we're gonna wrap this up. I recommend it because it's well put together. Again, shot wise, it's whatever. It's what it is. But story wise, if all of that is true, if that really happened, then highly recommend it. Bring your kids, bring your elderly, bring your dogs. I don't care.
Bring your kids.
Bring your babies.
Babies.
Now I see fire inside the mountain. I see fire burning the trees, and I see fire hollow in soul. I see fire blood in the breeze, and I hope that you remember